City Power has decided to withdraw its response teams of operators and technicians from the areas plagued by xenophobic attacks. Joining me in studio is the spokesperson for City Power, Mangena. Isaac, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
We've heard the police minister speaking about his priority. His priority here is the criminal element, and he also spoke about economic sabotage crime. And you as City Power have taken a decision not to have your team members out at these flashpoints, areas that you've specifically identified as dangerous.
Yes, indeed. It's purely for safety reasons. Because of we've got depots and offices in the areas where the violence have broken, Alexandra, Lenasia, Central Joburg, and other areas across the city of Johannesburg. We've got 10 offices. So our staff and contractors have been threatened, and the CEO of City Power, Mr. Mpho Sithole, took the decision to, in the interest of the safety of our workers and contractors, to say we really need to exercise precaution and ensure that they are safe to be able to drive into those areas. So we've seen in the past cars were stoned, and people obviously attacked, and we couldn't risk the resources that we have. We are communicating with the local councillors, who are also part of our monitoring system, to ensure that at least we know where we can when there are concerns, because this really is, as you said, sabotaging for the customers themselves, especially the businesses, because if there are outages, City Power won't be able to be there to ensure that we restore.
And is there some sort of backup plan that you have, especially looking at the flashpoint areas?
Look, we are meeting today, Mondays, to try and reassess, to see whether there are any areas that we can go. You see, with this violence, they move from one area to the other. Right as I was walking in here, the councillor of GB's town called us to tell us that GB is fairly safe, and our trucks can come in whenever there's a fault or an outage to come and work. By the time I walk out of here, we might be hearing things in Lenasia or Rudeport or Alexandra. So the plan is basically just to ensure that we protect the lives of our contractors and employees, and also the equipment that we have, because we've got trucks across the city that respond to some of these outages that we need to fix. So we will obviously assess and treat each area and each case with its own merits.
And we heard the police minister speaking in great depth about the criminal element that is overtaking and being merged in with xenophobia. In terms of when you're called in for any situation, what exactly do you find when you go in? Are cables being stolen or burnt? What exactly is it that you called in for during this time?
Well, look, we do have a situation, and we're dealing with it, of vandalism and cable theft all the time. And when you've got I can call it opportunistic time like this for criminals to actually move into some of these areas, we are always on high alert to try and ensure that we've got our own security, private security, on the ground in those areas where there are xenophobic flare-ups, to ensure that whatever happens, they do not actually move to our equipment and infrastructure. But yes, there have been instances where obviously our cables got stolen and obviously some of the equipment damaged, but we are not sure whether it's because of the lootings that are happening or because of it has been happening even in the past, whether there are any xenophobic attacks or not. We've always been having a serious problem of cable theft and vandalism of our infrastructure and the infrastructure of other City of Johannesburg properties, including Joburg Water. So that's the problem that we have. So I can't really relate it to what is happening currently, but we keep on having that kind of a problem every day.
So your priority was just to ensure that your employees are safe and the staff that are going into these areas are just safe?
Yes, indeed. And I think, like I say, we will assess this on a daily basis to try and see whether we can move into certain areas that are, are fairly safe. Like I said, we just got a call about GP's Town. So another option of really and that would be like a last resort if because of course, customers are going to be affected by this because we can't be able to respond fast or as and when things are happening. So we will, as part of our monitoring, try and see if we can deploy Metropolis, JMPD, who are our colleagues, to accompany our trucks and our staff to some of these areas. It's not there yet, but if it means we have to go that route, we will definitely take that route. Our colleagues in the EMS, you'll remember, they have done that already, where they in the last week or two, when they actually started deploying the JMPD to accompany them to areas where the ambulances need to go because of the violence. So we're also looking at that, but like I say, it's not there yet at this current moment.
And what about the services that don't require physical visits by City Power? How are you dealing with that in the midst of the chaos?
Yeah, look, I mean, there are those services such as vending, buying of electricity. So those are not affected. People can still buy from their phones, from the apps, and also from the banks on the phone. But we also caution customers who will have to walk to the garages and to the spaza shops at the corner to try and buy electricity to also exercise caution, because those are the shops that are targeted during this time. And when we say we have suspended services. We don't talk about across the whole city. There are areas like your Randburg, Rudeport, and other areas in the South Gate. They are really safe, and we are working as per normal. But of course, as I said, you will find a situation where when I walk out of here, they've moved to another place, and we will make that call as and when that happens.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Isaac Mangena, the City Power spokesperson, saying that they're withdrawing the response of teams from xenophobic flashpoints.